everybody. So 13.1 is about the Oregon Country. It starts out discussing what the Northwest was, and this area covered the modern states of Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and parts of Montana and Wyoming. In the early 1800s, several groups claimed the Oregon Country for themselves. First and foremost, the Native Americans who had been there for thousands of years at this point. The United States claimed it. Great Britain, Spain, and Russia also laid claim to these lands. Many Americans wanted to control this territory so that the United States would have access to the Pacific Ocean. And we can see here, in a second, there we go. We can see here that the United States claimed the land because of Robert Gray, and as well as the Lewis and Clark expedition. Great Britain claimed the land because they had explored this area as well. Spain controlled California, and Russia had settlements south of Alaska and into Oregon. So the Adams-Onis Treaty of 1819 was between the United States and Spain. Spain gave up their lands in the Oregon Country, and they also gave Florida to the United States as well, even though that's totally opposite side of the country. Still worth mentioning. Anyways, Russia gave up its claims on land south of Alaska. They didn't give up Alaska, just the land south. And then the United States and Great Britain agreed to what was called joint occupation of this territory. And this joint occupation was arranged by John Quincy Adams in 1818. Later on, when he becomes president in 1825, he tried to work with Great Britain for the land to be divided. Britain was like, yeah, no, we're good. So joint occupation continued. The first Americans to live in the Oregon Country were called mountain men, and they were fur traders who trapped beavers. The furs were bought and sold all over the United States and Europe. Later on, as fashions changed and fur kind of fell out of style, and beavers were near extinction as well, the mountain men needed to find a new way to use their knowledge of the area. So some settled down and became farmers. More of them became guides, helping families move and settle out west and find their way to the Oregon Country. The best known route was the Oregon Trail, and then there was also the Santa Fe Trail and the California Trail that led out west. There were many reasons that people wanted to move west. Many faced a unfortunate life in the East, and they wanted a new start. They wanted more money. They wanted a chance at wealth. A lot of that was tied into farming and being able to kind of make your own life out in the West. That was this whole vision that people had of it. In 1836, a family, Narcia and Dr. Whitman, decided to move west, and they were missionaries. And they lived and worked among the Cayuse Native Americans. Their goal was to convert the Native Americans to Christianity, and they also provided medical care. As new settlers came to the Whitman mission, the settlers didn't realize it, but they brought a disease known as measles, and it spread to the Native Americans, causing mostly the children to die from the disease. The Cayuse blamed those settlers and attacked the mission in 1847, killing the Whitmans and 11 others. Here we can see some of those reasons why people migrated to Oregon. So that fertile land, the desire for a new start, and going to the Whitman mission was kind of a goal for many people. These mountain men who became guides. We have the Oregon Trail, the most popular route, and then prairie schooners. Those were covered wagons that people put their supplies in. And the journey was 2,000 miles long. And these pioneers were known as emigrants, people who leave their home country for another place. In the early 1800s, the idea that Americans should spread freedom across the whole continent, all the way to the Pacific Ocean, became very popular. In the 1840s, a journalist named John O'Sullivan started calling this idea Manifest Destiny, and it stuck. James K. Polk, he ran for president in 1844. One of his slogans was 5440 or fight. That 5440 refers to this line of latitude here, which is where he was trying to have as the northern border. That ultimately didn't happen. The northern border was agreed to be at 49 degrees north, but he still won a lot of votes and eventually became president because of his slogan and because of his support for Manifest Destiny.